Before we proceed with our episode, we have a small announcement for you all. From this episode onwards, we are going to release two-part series on Friday and Sunday at 6 pm. Now, let's continue with the conversation with Kunal Kundu, learning about his struggles and design process involved behind making these beautiful art pieces. Sir, do you have any examples around you?
Yeah, I can show you some of the examples. Yeah, I'll show you. This is one of the first sculptures that I made. This is the whale sculpture. So this is like, you can understand that this is still very fluffy. Like, if I want, I can still crumple it and get it into like 1/10 of the size. So this is not very packed in together, but you can still understand like this is how I go about it. This is very light and not very packed in. This is not paper mache. You can understand this, how it happens. So this is one of the sculptures that I made, and this is another one I can show you. This is the this hawksbill sea turtle that I made, and these things are very fluffy. They're not very packed in together. And I always start with the face. Like, once you do the face, you know that the rest of the things you can pull it off. Types. Then I'll show you another one. This is the pangolin one. The scales took a lot of time to make, but yeah, you can say
Absolutely beautiful, sir.
so these are the things, and I'll show you another one. This is the walrus, Pacific walrus. This one. So you like this is like very meditative for me at some point. I really enjoy doing this, and the fun thing is like it's like, since I treat this paper medium as clay, it's like you're building up. You already have that shape in mind, the final thing. But when you're building up, it's like you're putting up the skeleton, then the muscles, that kind of thing happens. But even halfway through, the animal doesn't look like that final thing. So a lot of times, like, even you are done 70% of the work, it's not going anywhere. And I'm thinking like, okay, it's not really happening. But some part of my brain is saying like, don't worry, it's going to happen, because the thing is that eureka moment wasn't a fluke. That eureka moment was very true, because I figured out, like, I know what I'm going to do with this thing. And that is true, because you give me paper, you tell me, okay, can you make me this? I know I can make you this. That is very, very true. So I'm very confident about this particular thing, and that's what happened. Like, with that that phase I was going on, like watercolor, this crayon thing, I was trying out desperate things. I wasn't like confident about that thing, but with this thing I'm very confident. You tell me, like, right now I'm doing it in this scale, but eventually 5 years down the line, I want to make big scale things out of this same thing. So that's I'm looking at.
That the sculpture which you showed us were absolutely beautiful, sir. And about that sculpture, I want to ask, like, how do you use? What all material do you use?
See, when I had that phase when I was buying materials to try out things like watercolor and watercolor paper and crayons and these and that, one stupid thing happened. Like, I was thinking, okay, I can't make good art, because maybe the material that I was buying was not standard material. So I bought like very expensive materials, like expensive paper and expensive crayons and stuff. So and then I figured out something happened. I figured out, okay, I'm not going to spend money on the materials, because that is not how you come up with art. So I wanted to do something good out of very, very inexpensive things, and with things where I did not have to spend a lot of money, and which I had at home. So I had like a normal copier paper, like 75 GSM copier built paper, which you just take to sketch or take photocopies, and regular Fevicol craft glue. So I took that as my material. Okay, I'm going to use this only and see what I can come up with. So I've stuck with that only most of the time. Now, since I'm doing it seriously, I have still stuck with the 75 GSM built paper only, or JK paper, that brand, whatever brand. It's the eco-friendly brand that I use. The glue I have changed. I've started using one brand called Alien's quick dry glue, because that dries faster, so that kind of helps speed up my process. But mostly, yeah, it's like no fancy paper or anything. It's just basic photocopy paper. So I'm going to use that only.
As you mentioned earlier that this is something like meditation for you. So you have done it for a past couple of few years only, but has this actually made a difference in your personality, and has it shaped you as a person?
Yeah, it has. It has. It's like that phase, like when I was about to turn 40, I used to ask myself, like, what exactly do I do? Like, am I an animation film designer? Am I an illustrator? Am I a designer? Like, what exactly do I do? Like, a lot of times, like, people used to ask me, uh, like like recent acquaintance or something, like, so what do you do? Like, I say, yeah, I do this, but I'm also I go to an office, I do freelance also. So now I'm much more confident. Like, I'm a crumple paper art designer. I'm also a children's book artist, because my book came out last year. It's got good reviews. It's got a foreign edition also. So now I'm much more confident, because I know exactly what I want to do. I still go to an office, but I know that eventually I want to do this, and it's taking me in the right direction at least.
That's great, sir. I want to ask you further. Like you have been published into national and international magazine. So how has your experience been? And your art has also been published there. So what was the experience and any incident you would like to share with us?
One incident is very important, which is about my children's book journey as an author. It's like when I developed this style, prior to that, I used to send my work to different illustration agencies abroad and literary agencies also, so that something work-wise, something happens. So I used to write to them, and I used to eventually get polite rejections only, like, we're not looking for this style and everything. And I figured out, because the kind of work I used to send was like, they're dime a dozen. Like, it's like everywhere people are doing much better work. So why would they would represent me? So I developed this style. When I developed this crumple paper art style, I wrote back to one agent, who's my current agent, Anna Olswenger. I wrote to her. I said, this time I did not ask for representation. I just said that, hey, last time I sent you my work, you rejected my work. But this time I've done something interesting, I feel. I just want your opinion. This time she did not reject my work, and she was quite interested. She said, wow, this is quite interesting and unique. So why don't you write a book about it? I said, okay, I've not thought about a book. Let me write a book. So I wrote a book, and she said, okay, fine, now I've written a book. Now edit the book, because this this is not a book right now. So I made a lot of revisions on that manuscript. So there are like 10, 12 revisions and everything. Then she finally started representing me officially, and then the manuscript was sent to like a lot of publishers. There were like 49 rejections, and the 50th one actually got the book deal. And now the book has been commended as like one of the best children's book in the non-fiction category by Amazon Global Amazon Editors Pick. And it's got its first foreign edition in the Korean version, just came out last month. So it's been a good journey. Like crumple paper art has shown me a lot of different avenues, and a lot of things are happening right now. So I'm not stuck anymore. I'm not thinking like, what exactly do I do? That question is still there. It's lessened a lot.
Congrats, sir, on your book. And I would like to say that 50th would be a charm number for you.
For you.
Yeah, no, that was a funny incident also, because she kept sending these manuscripts, and she used to forward me the rejection mails. The rejection mails are interesting at this point because nobody said bad things. Everybody said, hey, this is very interesting, but it's very, from the marketing sales point of view, it's very difficult to make a book deal with an unknown author from India in the US book publishing industry. So after the 19th rejection, I told my agent, like, oh God, this is not going to happen. This is never going to be a book. And you also, by representing me, you also got into a bad deal, I think. So she said that don't worry about it, like 19 rejections is nothing. There has been like 100, 200 rejections and then a book has been made. It's like a very normal thing. And now I know better, like after the 49th rejection, 15th rejection is nothing. Like there has been much bigger authors who has been rejected like 200 times, but now look at that author maybe. So now I know, like now I know better.
Yes, sir, that's a amazing incident, I would like to say. I actually did try to publish my book. It has some many few of obstacles, I would like to say, and yeah, it's been a different journey. With that, I would like to ask you, like, what future do you look into this art, and what future does this art stand? If you look at Indian perspective, or in a global perspective.
See, the thing is, I would like to make many more books out of this, and eventually I would like to do this art not only in books, since I have done animation films before, maybe in animation also as an art installation. Like I want to take this further, like in whatever avenues, because I've done all these things like art, illustration, animation. I've done all this. So I want to combine everything together with this art style that I've developed. So I want to take it forward, and not only in the Indian thing, because I don't think art has that country boundary. Like sports has a very India, Pakistan, Argentina, Brazil, these, that. I don't think art or movies or these things has that Indian or American or this thing. If it's a good art, it has to be good everywhere. So it's not there like it's good in India, it's bad everywhere. It's not that. If it's good everywhere. So I want to do it that way.
And do you have any dream project you want to do in your further life?
Dream project would be to see, the thing is, animation has been love affair at some point, not so much right now, because it's like you need to understand, like animation doesn't really happen the way I envisioned it when I joined NID to do animation, but I would like to make animation films which are world class. Okay, so maybe with this style, with my crumple paper art, with an original story, maybe something like that I would like to do someday. Yeah, so animation is there. Somewhere back in my mind it's there, but I'd like to do it in a very different way than what actually happens in our country. So that is my dream project someday.
That's a different kind of opinion, I would like to say, and it's something which I've also experienced. Like animation does take a lot of time. Just for doing a short film, we can take over an year, and it's a time consuming thing. So I hope you all the best for that one. With that, I would like to ask you the last question for this podcast. What message would you like to give to our young audience, and how would you like to motivate them to look at people in a different manner?
See, I think if you want to take art as a career, I think you need to understand, like you have to develop your fundamentals very properly, and you can't underestimate that. That has to be proper. Like whatever style you come up with, eventually fundamentals has to be very strong, so strong that you understand what is good art, what is bad art. Okay, so that has to be very, very strong. Your composition sense, your color sense, your everything has to be very strong. And always study good artists, but don't copy them. Understand good artists so that you understand why they are good. but don't copy them. Try to develop your style. Always look to develop your own style, but don't think that it's going to come overnight. Your style will find you if your fundamentals are strong enough. So that's the advice I'd like to give everyone.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable feedback. It was lovely having you here. Congrats to all of you who made it till the end. I really hope you liked our show. If you did, please leave us a review on YouTube comment box. And by the way, if you had any question which came up because of the content we covered with our guest, go on YouTube, go on Instagram, and you can leave us a comment. We will surely get back to you and help you as much as possible. Arttown.store, that's the website name, and our Instagram ID too. Find us and talk to us. We are waiting to